A few weeks ago, I, nearly adult female, along with my friend Martiza, nearly adult female, went to a Halloween party. We both got the jab, so we're all good there. On the way there, Martiza informed me that she changed her mind about leaving the party at our agreed time and was more than likely going to spend the night and skip class the next day. She told me this as we were in her car. I was going to be the designated driver on the way back. I would have been fine with this if she hadn't waited to tell me the unilateral change of plans 5 minutes before we pulled up to the house. So I was already a little peeved when I went into the party. I knew I was either going to have to pay $120 Halloween rates to get home or call my mom and have her come pick me up. I chose my mom. Number one, because I knew she would be upset if I paid $100 plus for a 45-minute car ride. And number two, my parents have always made it clear that I can call them whenever I need them and they won't hold it against me. Anyways, we got back to the party around 8:30, but around 9 a lot more people started coming in. Some I recognized because I do dual enrollment at my community college. Unfortunately, one of the people that came in was someone I had French with. I tried avoiding him, but he saw me anyway and proceeded to follow me around the party. Martiza had disappeared off the face of the planet like 2 minutes after we stepped foot into the door, so I was all alone. Mark is 24. I have no interest in him. He's 24, which is pretty gross and old in my opinion. I don't want to date someone 7 years older than me. I'm also gay, so yeah, I've told him this multiple times, but he wants to, quote, make me straight. I get away from Mark, and around 9:30, I call my mom and ask her to pick me up. I explain to her what was going on. I leave out Mark on purpose. I text Martiza and tell her that I'm leaving. She doesn't respond, so I go looking for her. I spent like 40 minutes looking because I started on the top floor, but she was in the kitchen doing shots and says whatever when I tell her that I'm heading out. I wait outside and Mark manages to find me while I'm waiting. I keep trying to walk away from him, but he continues to follow me. I see my mom's car pulling up at this point. She must have recognized my costume because she got from the end of the driveway, out of the car, and pulled Mark by his collar away from me in like 2 seconds. Lo and behold, Martiza's mom is also there because Martiza had told her she was spending the night at my house. I did not know she lied. Her mom goes inside and starts yelling her name, looking for her. Martiza comes out with her mom looking mortified. I'm already in the car with my mom. They leave in Martiza's car. So now Martiza is punished and has her phone and car taken away. She can only talk to people in school. She's mad at me and blames me for snitching. She's also upset that I didn't get punished and still have my privileges. When she talks to me, she's really passive-aggressive. She ignores me a lot too. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. You 100% did the right thing. I have been in your shoes before with a creepy older man harassing you. It's not your fault that your friend lied to her mom and changed plans at the very last second. If this friend is upset for getting caught in a lie in that situation when you were uncomfortable and felt unsafe, that's on her. Your safety takes priority over whether or not she's happy with you. I'm honestly relieved to hear that your mom came in like a tiger and ripped him away from you. Your mom sounds like an amazing person. I don't think Martiza even changed plans at the last second. Those were always her plans. That's why she lied to her mom about where she was staying the night and waited till the last minute to tell OP because she knew she probably wouldn't be okay with it, knowing they were going in friend's car and she wouldn't have a ride home. Not the idiot. You didn't snitch. She's just mad that she's a terrible liar and got caught for it. And kudos to you for putting your safety first. And I would reconsider this friendship. Also, consider talking to someone about Mark. If he follows you on or off campus even once after this, then don't consider flat out telling someone promptly without a second thought. He sounds like a problem that needs to be dealt with. I, 54, and my husband, Rick, 57, have 3 kids. The oldest, Kurt, 29, is married to Becky, 28. She's normally a good daughter-in-law, and I try to be a good mother-in-law. We have had a pretty good relationship through the years. Issues have only popped up in the last few months, since they're now expecting a baby in 7 months. It is relevant that Kurt is technically my stepson, but I'm the only mother he has known. Becky is becoming increasingly difficult. She expects everyone to bend to her will because she's pregnant or because she's the mother of our grandchild. Recently, Rick and Kirk talked about our finances, and Becky started suggesting what money we should start saving for our grandbaby. That same day I served lunch. I made chicken for Becky because she isn't eating cold cuts. She made a few comments about the cold cuts that she didn't have to eat. She also made a few comments about the wine we served. She doesn't want Kurt drinking while she's pregnant, but he doesn't agree with this. My husband and I have a second home that we just redid, knocked down the original. This has been in the works for years, so our kids are very excited to all go this summer. So we're all set to go for our first trip in July. The issue that came up is that my two other kids, Tim and Cassie, 23 and 21, plan to have fun on this trip, which includes having some friends at the house a few times, amusement park, scuba diving, going out. When Becky and Kurt were over last weekend, Tim and Cassie talked all about their plans, and Becky got upset, saying that because she's pregnant, this trip shouldn't be all about drinking. It's not. She also said that next year's trip would not include any get-togethers because she will have a small child. Tim just told her not to worry because she doesn't have to participate in any fun. Becky called me and said that she was upset about the plans. She said we needed to respect that she couldn't participate in all of the planned activities. I told her that there were plenty of activities she could participate in and not to worry about what the other kids are doing. She then said she really thinks I should limit the drinking and parties. I informed her that I have no intention of limiting anything since this is their vacation as well, and these activities can take place on the back deck. She also accused me of caring less because Kurt is not my son. Not true. At the end of our talk, I told her they could get a rental to have their own space, but she accused me of trying to exclude her. I reminded her she spent many nights out drinking when she was their age, and that the world can't revolve around her just because she's pregnant. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. She sounds like the type that thinks expectant mothers should be able to park in handicap spaces. Oh, she's gonna be a handful. She's also, what, 2 or 3 months pregnant and acting this way? Just imagine how much worse it will get as she starts to get bigger and uncomfortable. You're not the idiot, because it sounds like a much-needed reality check. Pregnancy isn't an excuse to constantly criticize or to demand others adhere to all their demands. She's gone way out of line with her behavior. You're being more than accommodating and have been more than reasonable. It feels like there might be more to the story. I wonder if there's often pretty heavy drinking or more at family get-togethers, and she's being pressured or imagining being pressured in the future to be present at them, even if she doesn't want to be there or bring her child around heavy drinking. The fixation on drinking here could either be daughter-in-law being a wet blanket, or the family, and especially Kurt, might have a bit of an attachment to alcohol. I have a feeling this story is a bit more complicated than meets the eye. My fiance and I, both 20s, have been together for 3 years and have had a long-distance relationship. This will be her first Thanksgiving with my family. My mom invited us to attend Thanksgiving dinner, and when I told my fiance about the invitation, she asked about what was prepared for dinner, and I said the traditional dishes every home prepares, and she made a face and said she'd accept the invitation and go, but will bring her cooked food with her. I was shocked. I asked why, because as far as I know, she's not allergic nor vegan, and she hasn't even tried my mom's cooking. She said that is just her choice and wanted to eat something else to add new flavor for Thanksgiving, since she always was forced to eat the same old traditional meals every year by her family. I was mad. I said it'd be disrespectful as a first-time guest at our family's Thanksgiving, but she said it was better than telling my mom to cook other dishes, specifically for her. I told her no, she could not bring food with her, and if she insisted, she needed to stay home and not come with me, because I'm not about to let her offend my mom's cooking. She got all dramatic, almost crying, saying I was controlling and that I should just let her come and bring her own food, instead of overreacting like that. I stood my ground and she kept saying she wanted to bring food and that she wasn't willing to go hungry to please my mom. Finally, I had it and got ready to go over to my parents who live hours away. I got in the car with my stuff and left her behind crying. Then she started calling me, saying I should not have gone and left her alone at home, and that I was wrong for making this my hill to die on and causing her to miss my mom's invite. So I'm at my parents' house right now. I made up some excuse for why my fiance didn't come, but I'm still bothered by what happened, especially when she keeps guilting me for leaving her behind, calling me a selfish jerk and whatnot. Oh yeah, she was planning on bringing an entire cooked meal, so I wasn't just talking some side dishes to share with the family. That would have been a different story. Not the idiot. It would have been perfectly acceptable, gracious even, for her to bring a side dish or two, so long as you cleared that with your mom ahead of time. But to pre-cook and bring her whole meal and not eat your mother's food at all is rude. So there's something more going on here than she's sharing with you. Not the idiot, but don't expect that she'll save this relationship. What is your fiance thinking? She has no dietary restrictions, but feels she needs to impose her vision on a meal she's invited to? This feels like a power play. This feels like a test to force you to choose her over your family. Nope, right out of that. You passed the test, by the way. She's the one who failed you. She's the selfish one. It seems that she isn't even one bit concerned that to save face, you had to lie to your parents. So what will you have to lie about next time to keep her looking decent to your parents when she isn't willing to put in even a minimal amount of work to spend the first Thanksgiving with your family? What she did or was going to do is rude. You may want to consider whether you want to keep lying for this fiance who has never spent a holiday with your parents, and when asked to do so, passed on the opportunity because she couldn't bring her food to a family Thanksgiving dinner. I'm 19 and currently live with my mom due to health reasons. Despite living with her, I am financially independent and take care of my things. I buy my own groceries and have my own car. And while she doesn't want me paying rent, I help her out. I work a lot, so I have a bit of extra money to spend on myself that usually goes back towards my food, my dog, or my side hobbies. I own a lot of fancy art stuff, figures and cosplay costumes that I saved up for and bought myself. I have a decently big family. My mom has 9 siblings, but she's the only one with a stable career. Most of my aunts and uncles cannot keep jobs or don't want to work, so they live off financial support from my mom. So it's not uncommon for my family to show up at our doorstep because they need a place to stay for a few days. I always felt they were taking advantage of my mom, but never said anything because it wasn't my place until recently. Due to the holiday season, my family has been coming over a lot more and has gotten more demanding. I started noticing the food I bought and bathroom products were going missing. Some of my art supplies and figures got broken because my cousins were playing in my room when I was working. I spoke up about it every time, but they brushed it off, saying I could replace everything or they would pay me back. They never did. It wasn't like it was small things either. Some of the figures they broke cost hundreds of dollars, and I would buy full gallons of milk for myself just to walk out that evening and discover that my cousins drank it all. They also constantly asked for money for food or groceries, but wasted all on other things. The final straw happened last night. I passed a tough exam and decided to reward myself with takeout from my favorite restaurant. I had my food on the table and went to get a drink, only to come back to find my aunt searching through my stuff. She asked why there wasn't enough for everyone, and I told her that it was way too expensive. She called me selfish for only buying myself food while they starved, and I told her she could buy it herself if she wanted food. She glared at me but left anyways. She ran it to the rest of my family about how selfish I was, and they all started messaging and calling me, saying I'm heartless and need to think about family. They're all struggling, and it's unfair for me to waste my money on pointless things if I can't even help out with dinner. At that point, I'd had enough. I reminded them of all the times they stole stuff or broke my stuff without replacing it, and all the money they borrowed that they wasted. I told them I was not their financial provider and needed to focus on myself. I'm tired of them taking advantage of me, and if they want me to care, they can finally pay me back. Now only my mom talks to me, and while she's neutral on the situation, she wants everyone to forgive each other because we're family, though I don't see that happening. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, but I think you need to move out and get some peace. Your mom helped and was taken advantage of by her siblings all her life. It's unlikely that will change. So if you want your freedom, you should move out. As for now, put a lock on your bedroom door and don't let your family in there. Also, consider getting a mini fridge for your bedroom. Agree. OP, your mother needs to start setting limits on these people. For one, you need to be able to lock your room so the rest of your family can't get into your room. Also, your mother needs to stop supporting these people. They use family against her and have conditioned her to give them what they want. They will take and take until she's broke, and you will be the one having to pick up the pieces. Your mom is not neutral on the situation. She's enabling them. She's taught them she's not to be respected, and now she's teaching them you're not to be respected either, which means she's on their side when she should be on yours. Your mom sounds codependent. No, you're not required just to accept this poor treatment so your mother can feel at peace and avoid the conflict she'd like not to be there. Tell her you'll take their apology in the form of payment for all the money loaned, all the items broken and/or stolen, and when they get a job to support themselves and stop mooching off your mother. Tell them you will forgive them when they pay what they owe. I, male 34, have a nearly adult daughter from my first relationship. Her mom and I haven't been together since before our daughter was born, but are still good friends and have co-parented well. I've always had my daughter twice a week and every other weekend. My daughter's bedroom window is connected to our roof, which is flat, so she and her friends have occasionally gone out there with blankets and food and sat and chatted. It's not exceptionally high up, so it isn't hugely unsafe, but I always urge her not to do it alone. The window is about 4 feet above the roof, so it's hard to get back in if you're short or by yourself. On Saturday, I was out when I got a call from my daughter telling me she got stuck on the roof and I needed to come home immediately to come and help her. I told her that I'd be home soon, but she'd gotten out there herself when I told her a million times not to, so she can figure out how to get back in herself. I got back around 2 hours later, and my daughter had called her mom, who was furious. It was cold, but our daughter was fine. And I told her mom that if our daughter had listened to me about not going out there, it wouldn't have happened. Our daughter is fine and I wasn't gone that long, but her mom and even my girlfriend are saying that I put my need to prove a point above my daughter's well-being. Am I the idiot? Edit. My daughter is 5 feet and can't get back in the window without standing on something. It was about -8 degrees Celsius, but she was wearing 2 coats and is used to colder temperatures. She was fine. LOL, I'm sorry I'm laughing at the expense of your daughter. When I was young, I used to do the same thing at my parents' house. They always told me to stop, so I got stuck and they were home. Instead of helping me right away, they went outside and took pictures of me stuck on the roof. There is still a framed photo of me on the roof that my mother has on her desk. LOL and not the idiot. She wasn't in any danger. You came home and helped. She could have called friends, neighbors, and/or the fire department if she was in danger. You left your daughter outside in -8 degrees Celsius for over 2 hours? It's inhumane and freezing. Of course you are the idiot. Give her a punishment. Point out I told you so, but you don't withhold help to prove a point. What if she wasn't wearing enough? Could she have gotten hypothermia? Did you even ask her? This was totally inappropriate of you. Not the idiot. I think that people flipping out over the temperature do not consider where you and your daughter are from. A bunch of silly Americans who think that -8°C is life-threateningly cold. I live in North Canada, and it's really not, especially for someone wearing 2 jackets and blankets to boot. Also confused by the "you are wrong" votes, because you said she doesn't just go out there for a minute. She goes out there to hang out for extended periods. So she chooses to go outside in that weather, hangs out for a couple of hours, then all of a sudden, because she wants to go inside, she's at risk of freezing to death? Nah, she'll be fine for a little bit longer.